Hello, Tankers Gamers. The Momentary Genius here with another first match videos. This one is in the Type 59D. This is a Era 3 Premium Medium, and it was available as part of the Free XP. So it was one of the tanks available to purchase with Free XP. I definitely had the Free XP, and the reason, firstly, why I guess, as any of the viewers know, if you've seen in my streams, I have, previous to this, I had 5 Era 3 tanks, 2 lights, 3 heavies, and I don't have any mediums or tank destroyers, which I'm trying to work towards that. I've been grinding the Israeli tanks, the Chinese tanks, but grinding up through those single lines can take a long time. And just to have some more diversity in the eras, especially when it comes to contracts. Granted, the only problem with these mercenary contracts and some of these premium tank contracts is I'm I'm playing Cold War tanks to get World War II tanks. I'm not gonna play, but it is what it is. But in the interest of diversity, I was hoping to get a medium tank in early. Now, if you like these first match videos, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you do. I would might be in try to do more of them, especially when it comes to premium tanks, or if you're even interested in tech tree tanks. And as part of the whole my first match, I go through showing everything. So that's why these might be a little more boring at the start. Um, Also, as some of you returning viewers may know, I like to have I like to have each tank have their own commander. So that commander is perfectly set up for that tank. It does mean I don't get the best or all of the tank's abilities right off the bat, but in the long run, I kind of feel that's the best way to go. And, if other tanks in the future come along that are very similar to the tank I have set up, I can then swap out the command to that and already have one good to go. Now, the reason there was a pause there for that, I was going through what nationality as it turns out to be a Japanese deity. So I was like, I don't want to put a Japanese deity or anything with Chinese tank. There was a war. There were things I was just going to avoid the whole Japanese China issues from way back when. So I went with the Czech bear. I went Wojciech. 3-star, 3D commander. I was like, yeah, I get the abilities right off the bat. Or 3 perks, excuse me. Sadly, and annoyingly, I have muted the commanders. I've lowered the voice away, except that doesn't apply to the animals. So you won't hear it in this playthrough because I forgot to mute the microphone on the controller, so there was a bit of background noise throughout this playthrough that was a bit obnoxious, and really hate that feature of the PlayStation controller. It was just muted to begin with, and then I turn on later. But so to avoid all the clicking and fan noise, there will be no game audio. Sorry for that. Now, the reason I went with the Type 59D over, say, like the M60AX was because of its penetration. Starting off at standard of 605. That's pretty good. You don't get that on some of the MBTs until you fully upgrade and got to the top of the era. That kind of penetration. And I really like that. Also, I have mainly played Eastern Alliance tanks, so I'm very familiar with how they will play. The exception here with the Type 59D is it has 7 degrees of gun depression, which is actually gives you the potential to get hull down. That is something you really don't get out of a lot of the Russian-based tanks. So I found that very appealing. And that extra penetration, although this tank is not as accurate as the M60AX, you get some turret armor, and you have that penetration that can kind of give you a little bit of security. It's, granted, you're still not really going to have be effective at with like R1, R2, or RBRTing. You really do still need to aim, because especially in Air 3, I mean, still shooting at the front of any MBT is just foolish. But there are moments, especially as I've discovered, especially in this match, at the early air tanks like the Challenger 1s and Leopard 2s and 284s. This tank does actually punch through that frontal armor in certain areas. So it's very interesting. And now I'm holding off immediately moving because this tank being a medium and having it does have some space armor on the front of the turret, and the turret shape does allow for some bouncing. It's not. It has the potential to bounce. So this is definitely. You really, I definitely figured out from the beginning, like, don't be at the front. Maybe not even at the, be at the second line. Maybe be in the rear, moving around towards the outside, getting shots in, keeping tanks detecting other tanks. And that was. This tank does have good mobility on that regards, but I say good, it's mostly just average, around 60, 65 kilometers, which is par for the course for Air 3. So it's nothing crazy. The tank size, it's okay. It's not big and obnoxious like an M1A2 or a Challenger 2, but you're not small and svelte, so you certain areas you can hide in. Here we are in LLMA, which is a map I do enjoy. It, as you can see here, we've done the traditional Cold War. One team goes one way, the other team circles the other way, and unfortunately, my team for them did go in one direction mostly. That's why I went that way, but there was still some scattering, and as you can tell, we're losing tanks at a steady pace here, so spoilers, we will lose. But here, that shot was poorly aimed, but I still was able to penetrate and do damage. And was, I enjoyed that. I was like, that's good to know. I also realized, because I didn't really get detected, I also got spotting damage. I'm not used to that because I have the main battle tanks, and playing the light tanks, I have the VFM, the British light tank, and then of course the BMP3. The VFM has a 105 that is accurate, but its penetration is lacking. So being too far away, means you don't penetrate as often, and it's a hard. It can be hard finding that balance, especially with a tank with no armor. BMP3, well, I don't say I like the shotgun with the missiles, but the closer you are to a target, the better it is to chance to hit it. So I realize now that with this medium thing, I could actually be at medium ranges or farther and still have a direct effect, while at the same time my spotting is also effective. So as we're progressing into this match and we're losing, I'm more focused on doing what I can to detect for the now pinged Ridgeline Queens, so they can at least have something to shoot at or see where there are things to shoot. Maybe they can't hit them, but they'll at least know where they are. And that was something I found refreshing, because a lot of the MBTs, they're like heavy tanks. They have no real concealment. So right off the bat, I was like, I need to work on getting the concealment down, and that'll allow me to have even more fun. And this is about a video's about a week or so old, maybe a little more. And I've played this tank more and had some very good and surprising matches. Look forward for another Type 59D video coming very soon where I did a combined 11k damage and it was a close match. So now this is the moment where I really got a feel for the full what this tank has against the Challenger 1. Now, I was a bit bold and over aggressive. I really wish I'd penned on that opening confrontational shot because that would have given me a great advantage. But again, I was firing on an MBT from the front, so the Challenger 1's frontal armor did save itself. And of course, it exposed me. I got detected. And here I'm being chased by an M1A2. And I was hoping to kind of do a fake out here, but unfortunately, either the M1A2 was a smart big fish or a dumb big fish because he didn't file for it. He committed to his line of attack, and he actually came up from, he went all the way around. He had the speed to it and got me in the rear and took me out. So this first match really got me excited. I mean, I went on and saw the video reviews from way back when this tank first came out, but this, because of that assisted damage, which with light tanks, I sometimes struggle because if you get too close and you get spotted, you get sent back to the garage really fast. So, and 605 standard pen, yeah, this was very enjoyable. I did try to see what the accuracy's like. It's okay. It's pretty good for Air 3. Not great. So if you'd like to see more, if you have any comments about your own experience with Type 59D, leave them below. And I hope the RNG is in your favor and you keep the treads on the ground. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.